Hi everyone, it's Mr. Francy here. I hope you're all doing well and having a really good May. Yeah, I might sound a little bit off in this video, and don't worry, I will be explaining why, as I also come to explain why it's been a while since I've checked in with everyone. So yeah, let's take a quick look at when the last time was that I checked in with you all. So my last check-in was the weekly vlog for the 6th to the 12th of May. So this is basically going to be covering everything from the, what would that be? The 13th through to and including the 26th of May. Yeah, it's been a really interesting time for me of late. And yeah, I'm just going to kind of jump in and give you all these different updates. So, so I want to center on talking about the 18th of May first, and then I will go from there. So, prior to the 18th of May, I wasn't feeling well, and then on the 12th of May for my birthday, I went out for the day. I am glad that I was able to do that, given that I wasn't feeling so well on the 11th. I went out, celebrated my birthday, did all the things, the Thursday prior, I went out with my mum, as I've said in a previous update, we went to high tea and that was fabulous. And then on my birthday, I went out, to see a friend and that was all good. I was glad that I was able to do that. I came back home and, yeah, just started feeling absolutely horrible from the Monday, from the 13th. I believe Monday was the 13th. I'll just double check that. Yes, from the 13th onwards, and I didn't know what was going on with me, but physically I just really was feeling absolutely horrible. I can laugh about it now, but at the time it was a bit weird. I don't get sick a lot, so when I do get sick, full transparency here, it hits me really hard. So that's just kind of the way it is with me. I am healthy for the longest time, and then when some sort of illness hits me, it hits me like a ton of bricks. So, and Mr. Francy is just way out of commission. But, yeah, so anyway, I started not feeling well and didn't know precisely what was going on. I thought maybe I had a cold and I just needed to rest up. Anyway, the symptoms started getting worse, and I started over the course of that week, and I started wondering maybe if I had the flu. And then finally on the Saturday, the 18th of May, I ended up doing a test for COVID, and it turns out I tested positive. So yeah, I have been dealing with COVID. I don't know for how long exactly, but I did test myself for COVID on the 11th of May, and I was negative for COVID. Full disclosure here, my father, who I live with, he brought COVID home from work, leading up to my birthday. So I did assume right away that I had COVID, but as I said, I tested for it, and on the 11th of May, given that I was going out with a friend of mine on the 12th of May, I wanted to be absolutely sure of what was going on. And on the 11th, I tested negative for COVID. So as I said, went out, hung out with my friend, all was fine. In fact, there were a lot of blessings for me on my actual birthday because I felt quite amazing. I had a great day, didn't feel sick at all, everything was fine. But then from the 13th onwards, I started not feeling well again. And so I just kept saying to myself, well, obviously it's not COVID because I've tested for that and I don't have that. I probably should have tested for COVID earlier, but anyway, so finally, getting back to the 18th, I tested myself again, and yes, tested positive for COVID. The test that I did was a very inclusive test, not only testing for COVID, but also for influenza, and I tested negative for influenza, but positive for COVID. This is the first time that I've had COVID, even through the lockdown and the pandemic. I did not get COVID. I knew of people who had COVID, but was very fortunate that I had not had it. So obviously this was a very new experience for me, and it is something that I've been struggling with for a while. as I say, the positive test for me occurred on the 18th of May. And I have been dealing with it knowing that it's COVID since the 18th, but I have been feeling very under the weather for much longer. So as I say, probably from about the 13th of May onwards, just after my birthday, is when I started feeling absolutely horrible. I have been mainly bedridden for the majority of this time, which is very unlike me. Whether I have work to do or not, I'm a very active person. I like, setting out a schedule every single day, regardless of what's going on with me, and getting through everything, and feeling quite satisfied that the day's been productive. And so I'm just going to open up by saying one of the hardest things that I've had to deal with having COVID is what I call the lethargy, the extreme tiredness and energy zappingness of this illness. For those of you who have not had COVID, and obviously, everyone reacts to COVID differently. I can only speak of my experience, but for those of you who have not experienced COVID and want an idea of the experience that I've gone through, imagine waking up every day after getting a very decent amount of sleep and feeling extremely exhausted. Getting out of bed is such an effort. Going to the bathroom and coming back, you feel like you've run a 10-kilometer marathon, converted if you're American into miles, but in Australian metrics, kilometer marathon. My goodness, getting up just to go and grab some dinner. I would cook some noodles, which is really easy to do. We have electronic kettles here. Boil the kettle, put the hot water over the noodles, put it in the microwave for 3 minutes, strain it, voila, noodles are done. By the time I've made noodles for myself and gotten back to my room to sit down and eat it and watch whatever I'm going to watch, I feel absolutely exhausted, like I have climbed a mountain and back. It has just been ridiculous. Yes, there have been other symptoms, but this has been the toughest one for me to deal with. And that's a big part of the reason why it's taken me so long to record anything, because just getting up is an effort, let alone doing anything else. And I mean, going to the bathroom, having a shower, excuse me, now my nose is suddenly starting to sound all blocked. Getting dinner, all those usual things that you need to do require so much more effort and leave you feeling so much more drained that by the time it comes to me putting on my recording device and audibly recording for you all about my updates and how things have been going, it's just not happening. But I decided I wanted to do this today because I don't know how long this is going to last for. The symptoms have been quite varied, but it's not done yet, and while I can certainly only hope it will be gone soon, I can't just sit back and say, well, I won't update anyone for like 2 weeks, and, hopefully I'll be good by then. One thing that I do credit myself with is my positive attitude. I think one of the greatest reliefs for me was getting the confirmation of the positive test of COVID. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing worse than testing positive for COVID, but I'm one of those people who can get very anxious, as most of you know who know me. If you've been keeping up to date with my vlogs, you know that I've been officially diagnosed with anxiety, and I have anxiety meds that I take for that. One of the biggest triggers of my anxiety is being kept out of the loop of something. And to give you an example, if I am sick and I don't know why, then obviously that's going to cause me a whole lot of stress. Least of which the stress being that I'm sick. Most of which the stress being I don't know why I'm sick. What illness do I have? Because if I don't even know what it is, I don't know how I'm going to go about trying to combat it and get back to where I was. Oh gosh, I'm trying to talk and as I say, my nose is really blocking up now. But anyway, once I got the diagnosis and, had the test and the test confirmed that I was positive, the relief that washed through me was probably more than anyone who's ever tested positive for COVID, because at least I had an answer. Other symptoms, just to rattle them off, because if I don't, I'll regret not being fully transparent, included for me, for my strain of COVID, what I went through, because again, everyone reacts differently to COVID and has different experiences. But for me, I experienced blocked nose, runny nose, sneezing, so that takes care of the nose. Sore throat, this was, oh my gosh, probably one of the worst symptoms for me, was having a sore throat. And I'm sorry to be so descriptive, but just to give you an idea, just like looking at it from a anthropological perspective of research, if you will, every time I swallowed, I felt like I was swallowing 1,000 knives, and it was just absolutely horrible. A friend of mine who lives locally ended up dropping off some Difflam for me. I'm so glad they did. Difflam is an amazing numbing spray for the throat that I did not have on me, and that friend has quickly become an angel of mine. They dropped off two bottles, that are each come in a box. So 2 bottles of Difflam, and spray bottles that is, and 2 bottles of some Gatorade that had some electrolytes in them, which I appreciate as well. What an angel. I cannot thank this person enough. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Anyway, so yeah, that was tough for me to deal with, but the Difflam definitely helped to ease that. Since using the Difflam regularly, I am now dealing with, I'm sorry for the disgustingness, but a whole lot of phlegm building up in my throat, which is not fun, as well. So there's that to contend with. Also, the lethargy and exhaustion is definitely the toughest thing to deal with to date. Anytime I have a shower, I come out of the shower feeling like I've run an absolute marathon, which is horrible. I don't ever remember being this much out of energy. The interesting thing though is, and just very quickly in case any of you have had COVID, maybe you can compare with me, being in the shower is absolutely amazing, but the moment you turn the water off and you step out of the shower, oh my gosh, you feel like the entire race has just hit you and you're exhausted, and it's a wonder you make it back to your room, honestly, in my experience. I'm trying very hard not to cough right now because that's another thing, coughing, that I've been dealing with. The coughing hasn't been the worst thing though for me, and I'm thankful for that. I do have cough medicine that I do take when I need it. I don't want to drug myself up too much. So there is a COVID medication that they give out in Australia, but you can only have it if you're over the age of 60 because of compromised immune systems for the elderly. So I'm not allowed to have that. So that's fine. And the curse of being young, I suppose. And I'm just taking whatever I can. I have, as I say, I've got my Difflam. I've got Beconase, which is great for like a spray for the nose. So I got my spray for the nose, I got my spray for the throat, I've got my paracetamols, and I've just got my little pharmacy shop over here, basically. And I don't like taking drugs at all, but I will therefore just take something when I need it, and kind of proceed from there. But one of the toughest things for me to deal with early on, and I am going to give you updates into reading and TV shows in just a moment, but I want to get all this out there so it's done, and then next time we talk, if I'm still going through this, I can just give you a very tiny update, or if it's over, then at least I've reported it all, because yeah, I want to be open and transparent and tell you what's going on. The toughest thing for me was when I initially got the positive confirmation that I tested positive for COVID, was that I felt extremely dizzy. Now, okay, I don't know how to word this on YouTube. There are things I want to say, and I don't know what I can say and what I can't say. But let me just say this much. I felt, for the first 3 days, like I was high, but hadn't taken anything to become high, if that makes sense. And I'll leave the rest of that to your imagination. And yeah, I went through some moments, not many, but some moments where I'm going, I haven't even taken anything. Why am I high? Getting all upset because, I haven't even taken anything. What the heck? But yeah, I just want to allude back to my positive attitude. I'm so thankful. Many years ago, I went through a really dark patch in my life. I found a wonderful friend who turned my life around, and this friend helped me to see the positive side of things. And that is why each and every time I come to you all, I talk about, letting you all go peace, blessings, and so much love, asking you to, spread your sparkling energy all throughout the world because of the way that I see the world now. I am very thankful that I'm in this place in my life that even though I have COVID, my thoughts are trying to have the best outlook on life that I can have and know that this is only temporary. I know that I don't know. I don't want to sound I'm struggling with words and trying to put things into sentences to make it all make sense. I guess maybe that's part of it too. But I don't want to sound cocky or overconfident, but I knew that this disease, is that what you call it? I don't even know what it is, but this illness at the very least was not going to take me. I know that I am destined to do a lot in this life without saying too much. I know that I am here to spread my sparkling energy all throughout the world, and it is definitely not my time to be done. So my attitude was never one of being scared that this would take me, but more of a, what do I need to do in the interim to deal with this as quickly as I possibly can so that I can get back to spreading my sparkling positive attitude throughout the world. And it has been helping me trying to stay as positive as I can. I'm not going to lie, of course I've had my dark moments, especially when everything comes together and you're swallowing 1,000 knives while feeling high even though you haven't taken anything to feel high, while at the same time you're coughing, while at the same time you're sneezing and all this. Like, seriously, I've said words that I haven't been proud of saying on my own, so as not to affect anyone else, but I've said words. But at the same time, even now you heard me laugh, and that is because one of my greatest sayings that I've learnt and that I try to pass on to others is sometimes we laugh so that we don't cry. And it's not to say that we shouldn't cry. If you cry, then cry. Go for it. Let it out. There is nothing more cathartically beautiful than crying and letting things out. But sometimes it is easier to laugh than cry. And I've been laughing a lot lately so that I don't cry. But, look, all of this is to say, to kind of wrap things up very quickly, because I want to get on to some very, very quick updates with reading and watching, is that things have been horrible. I'm not going to lie, but I am trying to look at the positive side of things as much as I possibly can. Everyone on my Discord was made aware of the fact that I was positive, and I received some beautiful support over there. So thank you to everyone who has been supporting me. But everyone who's not on the Discord, I'm sorry that you weren't made aware. Had I had the energy to come on and do a video prior to now, you would have received this update from me. I am not giving you this update for sympathy or empathy, although if you'd like to do something for me, then continue to spread that positive sparkling energy throughout the world. That's the biggest thing that I want from everyone. Do something kind for someone else today. Show someone the love and respect they deserve. Just these little things that, we always used to do, and we tend to, or from what I'm observing, we tend to forget these days, like hold a door open for someone, hold a chair for someone, pull out a chair for someone so they can sit down. Whether you be a man or a woman, we're in 2024 now, it doesn't matter. If you're a woman and you want to hold the door open for a man, you do so. If you're a man, you want to hold the door open for a woman, you do so. You're a man, you want to hold the door open for a man, you do so. You're a woman, you want to hold the door open for a woman, you do so. These little things like holding open a door for someone or pulling out a chair for someone can make someone's day. Giving someone a smile as you pass them by on the street could take their day from 0 to 100. It really can. It's these little things that count. Whatever you can do to try and impact someone's day in the most positive way that you can, please do that. That would mean the world to me. The reason that I'm putting this out there is not for sympathy, but so that you'll know what's been going on and why I haven't been putting out videos. So Now that you're aware of that, I'm going to just quickly give you all some reading and watching updates. I'm going to give you watching updates first. With my reading, I'm going to give you a heads up. I'm going to update you on what I've read, but I'm not going to update you on how I feel about what I'm reading because I'm going to do my monthly wrap soon enough. So you'll get all that info over there. But let's quickly talk about watching. First off, let's put season 1 of Seventh Heaven up on the screen. I have finished season 1 of Seventh Heaven and I absolutely loved it. I want to give a big shout out to the deaf girl, Heather, who finally made her appearance in episode 21 of 22. And she and Matt have been building this amazing relationship. I love Heather. If you remember Heather, the deaf girl from Seventh Heaven, I've been waiting for her and I'm so glad to have finally seen her. I have really enjoyed my time. I had really enjoyed my time watching season 1 of Seventh Heaven. I just love these stories. I love the morals and the values behind them. And yes, there is an undertone of religion attached to it, don't get me wrong. But for me, it's the humanity that I take away from Seventh Heaven. The lessons that the kids learn and also the adults learn as they go throughout their journey, being adults, young adults, children, whatever it is. And so really enjoyed my time with that. Once that was finished, which I finished that on the 22nd of May, the next thing that I started up was a very impromptu viewing. And that was an impromptu viewing of Vampire Academy, the TV series. So, I was talking to a friend of mine who reminded me that I've been wanting to watch this TV series for a while. I read the Vampire Academy series when I was a kid, and then I reread the series on my channel in 2020, my first year of doing my BookTube channel. And while it was an up and down experience for me, I love the lore and the world and the wonder that is Vampire Academy. I don't like using this H word, but I'm going to use it here. I absolutely hated the movie. The movie was ridiculous. Who in their right mind, and this is just my opinion naturally, everyone can have their own opinion, but who in their right mind got the director of Mean Girls to direct the first movie of Vampire Academy? No wonder it didn't do well after that. Like, seriously, we're just so ridiculous. It was way too lighthearted. But anyway, I was really looking forward to the TV series because they were saying the TV series was going to be a lot more dedicated to the canonical work. One thing I will say, I have got 1 episode left. There are 10 episodes in season 1 and then it was cancelled, which does annoy me. But having watched the first 9, so 90% of the series as a whole so far, one thing I will say is this. I don't feel it is as canonical as it should be, the Vampire Academy TV series, but in saying that, I love the series for what it is. All of the characters we've grown to love throughout the series, and if you've read the series, you know who I'm referring to, like Vasilissa, aka Lissa, Rose, Christian, Adrian has finally come in, Adrian Ivashkov. That took forever, but Adrian's finally there. Dimitri. You know, all these characters that we love, they're there. The discussion of all the different elemental magic, the Moroi versus the Dhampir versus the Strigoys, all that kind of stuff. Absolutely, it's all there. But there are different things that I was watching the first 2 episodes going, no, and being very nitpicky because of how dedicated I am to the canon of the book, the canonical work, which is the book series. And like, for example, with Dimitri, my first thought was, you are meant to be Russian, but you are very clearly English, as in from England. What is going on here? And then, you know, with Lissa, I always pictured her as being blonde, but she's not blonde in this series. I don't know if that's canonical or if it's just what I envisioned, but I always envisioned Lissa being blonde, and she's not in this series. Rose is fine. I don't have any issues with Rose. The actress who's portraying Rose in the TV series is portraying her well. There's just something a bit off that I can't quite understand what it is. But yeah, look, they don't deal with everything in the show. Like, there are things that we've kind of skipped over for whatever reason. But in saying that, despite the fact that it's not as canonical as it could be, I actually love the show, which says a lot. So I don't know why they cancelled it after season 1, and I am very much looking forward to watching the final episode of season 1, aka the final episode of the series, to see if I can get any hint as to why it was not renewed for season 2. Because, I mean, let's be real, okay? I'm just going to spout my opinion about something else. If the Charmed reboot could last, what was it, like 4 whole seasons? and be as ridiculous as it was. If you're an OG Charmed fan, comment below and let me know, because I'm sorry, the Charmed reboot was absolutely ridiculous compared to the OG. But if that can last 4 seasons, how did Vampire Academy get cancelled after 1 season? It makes no sense to me. Oh my goodness, I want season 2. I am very happy to put aside the canonical pieces that did not make it into season 1 to continue on this amazing television show that they've created. But anyway, I'll let that go. Once I've finished Vampire Academy, the TV series, which I will tonight, watching that final episode, I will be starting Alice in Borderland Season 1. I am going to be watching the first episode of that tonight, and then 2 episodes a night from here on out, and I will have Alice in Borderland Season 1 done by the end of this month, and then I'll move back to Season 2 of Seventh Heaven, starting next month, and then from the 23rd of June, I will go back to Alice in Borderland Season number 2. So, lots that I'm watching. Oh, very quick, let's talk about All Stars 9, RuPaul's Drag Race. It's okay, it's not my favourite, and that's about all I'm going to say. It's okay, it's not my favourite. Let me know what you think of RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 9 in the comments section below. I loved the latest standard US season of Drag Race. This All Stars one, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm going to say. Yeah. It is what it is. All right, quickly talking about books, and we're going to race through this because, my goodness, we're running out of time very quickly. Okay, so I don't know where we're up to, but I'll just quickly run through what I have read so far. So I've read The Big ASS Party, which is Zodiac Academy book 5.5. I've read Fated Throne, which is Zodiac Academy book number 6. I DNF'd Renegades by Victoria, no? Is it Marissa Meyer? Anyway, I DNF'd book 1 in the Renegades trilogy, which means Renegades has been DNF'd. We'll talk more about in the monthly wrap. I DNF'd King's Cage by Victoria Aveyard, which is book 3 in the Red Queen series, and so therefore that series has been DNF'd. We'll talk about that more in the wrap up too. I finished How to Defy a Vampire by Alice Winters, which means I have completed the VRC vampire-related crime series. We'll talk about that more in the wrap-up. I finished Portside Peril, which is book number 2 in the cruise ship mystery series by Hope Callahan, and we'll talk about that more as we proceed along. I finished House Beneath the Bridge, my first Ian Rob Wright book for the year, and I finished Insects, Ivy, and Investigations, which is book number 17 in the Campers and Criminals series, and I'm starting book number 18 in the same Campers and Criminals series, Outdoors, Oars, and Oaths, tomorrow. Then after that, I'm going to read book number 19, Wildlife, Warrants and Weapons. Then I'm going to read the Famous Five series, book number 5, Five Go Off in a Caravan, which I have read before. And then I'm going to read book number 6 in the Famous Five series, 5 on Kieran Island again, which I have not read before. And that will help me to complete my May reads for May. I already know what I plan to read in June, so I'll do my monthly TBR for June very, very soon. But this is where I am going to leave it. I'm sorry that this was a bit longer than I planned for, but I wanted to give you all the information I could with regards to contracting COVID and how things have been going with that as well, and just give you a very, very quick gloss over of TV and books as well. Once I've done my my TBR for June and my monthly wrap for May, I'm hoping to go back to my standard weekly vlog, so I'll have more time to fill you in on everything else that's going on. Once again, if I could just have one request of each and every one of you that take the time to listen to this, which I am so thankful for, thank you very much, it is to continue to spread your sparkling positive energy throughout the world. Something as small as opening a door for someone, pulling out a chair for someone, letting someone else go ahead of you in line at the grocery store can make a very big difference in someone's day, taking it from 0 to 100. So please continue to spread that sparkling positive energy all throughout the world. I know that I will be better soon. I know that I've got this, and I thank each and every one of you for your love and your support that you are sending through to me every single day. Until our next video, peace, love and blessings everyone, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!